In other news, government set to launch the National 16 Days of Activism for No Violence Against Women and Children campaign in Rustenburg today. The theme this year is 30 years of advancing collective action to end violence against women and children. The program will begin with visits to gender-based violence shelters, followed by an awareness walk. The formal proceedings will take place at the Rustenburg Civic Centre. That's where Deputy President Paul Mashatile will deliver the keynote address. Watching those developments is SABC News reporter Sintle Ing Lehihi, who joins us now live. And Sintle Ing, of course, we go through this moment around this time every year. And I imagine a lot of the people watching this time around will be asking, what's different?
Yes, indeed, the 16th Day of Activism march has started here in earnest in Rustenburg. We see members of government from national as well as the provincial government coming here to be in solidarity with the community of Rustenburg, which has actually seen quite a number of incidents of gender-based violence, with which have also been identified as problem areas. We've also understood that in this province, just last week, a significant troubling incident has happened where a man, 33-year-old, killed both his parents. But I'm going to take this opportunity to get to speak to the DG just as she's marching. Mama, it's going to be difficult for you to hear me, but let's talk about the importance of this here march, joining the community, raising awareness.
It's important because we are calling on the entire society, especially men, to join the fight against gender-based violence.
Let's talk about why we chose Rustenburg particularly to bring this national initiative.
As a department, we go to all provinces. We're responsible for all provinces. We have to go even to the most rural areas in order to ensure that we talk to them, because gender-based violence doesn't know an area, doesn't respect class, doesn't respect race. So even people who are far, they are subjected to gender-based violence. And some of them don't even know that what's happening to them is gender-based violence. So it's important that they know and that they report.
Let's expand that definition. You are talking about understanding a broader perspective of gender-based violence. There's religious practices, cultural practices that need to be included in our understanding.
Yes, Okutwal is gender-based violence. It is not a custom of the Xhosa people. It is a custom of the poor. Children of the teachers, of the police, of the educated are not abducted. The children of the poor. So those families should know that it is violence against women. That's gender-based violence. And the courts have already prosecuted and convicted someone to 22 years. So people should know that when they do that, irrespective of whether they think is their culture or not, they'll be arrested.
Over and above that, we have incidents of illegal mining. Just the last night and this morning, we woke up to news that among those who went above ground, from underground, a 14-year-old. How do we then make sense of the exploitation of children in such illicit industries?
I think I'll start by saying it is important for government to ensure that every family is empowered. In that way, you won't find the 14-year-olds underground. But also, it is criminal for the elderly, because these people are used by older people to use children. They also will be prosecuted.
A major point of concern for us as a province. Just last week, we had an incident where a 33-year-old man killed both his parents and his sister. It speaks to, the pandemic that facing women in South Africa.
As a department, we have realized that in order to defeat gender-based violence, what we need to do is to use a two-pronged approach, where that have perpetuated must be arrested, but the other one is prevention, We need to involve communities. We need to train parents on effective parenting so that we raise children who understand that if a girl says, I no longer want you, you know that she no longer wants me, but you don't feel offended. You say to her, you can do better than me, and you go.
Absolutely. A call for the boy child to recognize the freedoms of rights to choose of the girl child, ensuring that at all times, each one of members of our community society are protected and aware of the challenges that are facing those who are victims of GBV. You've seen the march progress. Now it's arriving here at the library. We're going to set up and also take deliberations with the community. From us here in Rustenburg, we'll say back to you in studio.
Cynthia Ingli, thanks very much indeed for that reporting, quite literally reporting on the go. The 16 Days of Activism for No Violence Against Women and Children campaign said to be launched in Rustenburg. The keynote address coming from the Deputy President, we anticipate at some time this morning. In an official government communique, the state conceding that achieving meaningful change will require a cultural shift, and my goodness, no overstating how important that is for a country like ours, where gender-based violence is so prevalent.